Hey, g'day and welcome to another episode of In the Driver's Seat. I am Greg Murphy, and in this podcast we take a spin with some of New Zealand's most popular people and find out what drives them. And this is all thanks to our mates at AutoSense, who are providers of fleet and driver safety solutions. You can find them at autosense.co.nz. Right, today's guest is someone who's been making Kiwis laugh for decades through stand-up comedy, radio, TV, and even as the voice of one of the most iconic advertising campaigns you'll ever see. Paul Ego is a mainstay of New Zealand comedy, a long-time panellist on 7 Days, a voice you woke up to on breakfast radio, and of course the man behind the Pack and Save Stickman. From his early days as a rock band frontman with a mullet, yes, this is true, to becoming one of the most familiar voices and faces in Kiwi entertainment, Paul has built a career on quick wit, sharp observations, and never taking himself too seriously.
Imagine if the car in front of them dropped a lit cigarette down their leg.
Shorts, down their
as
stubbies.
They were driving, and it set fire to the mince that was already there and cooked that onto the scrotum. Suddenly you've got the world's worst spaghetti bolognese.
In this episode, we talk about comedy, family, staying relevant, and what it's like to find humour even in the tough moments. But first, we're going to find out what he's like behind the wheel. So let's go for a spin.
Belt on, please.
Belt on.
Have you broken my car already?
No, calm down. I tell you, this is quite new though. Yes, new car smell.
It has. Yeah, well, that's a mix of Burger King and golf shoes. What I should call my autobiography.
Or your new fragrance.
That's right.
Yeah. Righto.
All right, we're off.
Little push buttons.
Okay,
and
mate.
things.
Thank God for cameras.
Yeah.
Because I've got a very stiff neck. No, I'm okay.
And we've got cameras, filming cameras.
We've got cameras, filming camera, and we've got 2 police vans directly behind us.
It's probably not a good idea. Well, you'd think there'd be cameras.
That's all right. At least if we hit one of them, we won't have far to travel.
But there'll be too much. But there will be too much evidence.
That's
of it
right.
happening.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's been a long time.
It has been a while.
I remember when the last time would be that I saw Greg Murphy, and it was probably in my days working at the Rock, because we seem to be doing some sort of V8 shit with you every 2 weeks.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. You also got bloody completely thrown under the bus to do that MC gig of mine, but at Sky City.
Oh, that's right.
Mate, that's like 10 years ago.
That was a long time. God,
Yeah.
what was that for?
It was because I stopped racing and sort of. It was a retirement thing. There was a celebration. I had a book, this bloody book thing that I'd done, and I don't know.
It was almost like a roast of some sort.
It was. That's sort of what they tried to be, but the people that were on it weren't very good at it. You had to do all the work from memory.
God, I've got such a vague memory of
Yeah,
that.
but-
Was I sort of
yeah.
emceeing it or something?
Yeah, well, you were. You were the roast master kind of MC kind of thing. It was a little bit vague.
Was it a whole lot of other drivers roasting you?
Couple,
Okay.
and then a couple of them and a few other people. Exactly. That's sort of what it was. Anyway, it was a Pukekohe. There were pre-race, and I wasn't racing, but it was the timing that we did it. So anyway, that's 10 years ago at least.
Wow,
Yeah.
10 years has gone fast.
Yeah, crazy.
I still feel like I'm 10 years younger than I am, and thank God I look amazing.
You do.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
I think it's
it.
something to do with not having any hair.
I know. I reckon too.
Yeah.
I reckon I've dropped 20 years since I decided to
got rid
go
of it.
bald.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I like how I've decided to go bald.
It was a good decision.
That's it, everyone. I'm going bald.
I still want to be 10. I pretend I am, or feel. I actually feel like it.
You look pretty good for
Oh, thanks.
the age you are. We've
Yeah.
got to be a similar age. I think you're younger than me.
Fuck, I hope I am.
How old are you in the...
I'm 52.
Okay, I was going to say early 50s, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You were going to say.
I've got a couple of years on you.
Have you?
Yeah.
Are you getting close to another number?
I'm getting close to a number.
Well, okay. Well, it's Mutual Admiration Society. You don't look it, do you?
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I've been told by a couple of the makeup artists who do 7 days and very...
and they should know.
And they should know. They see faces close up all the time.
Yeah.
They do say, Paul, you have amazing skin. And I'm like, thank you so much.
Thanks,
and
love.
my mum has amazing skin. So my mum is 90. She's turned 90. And she looks 70.
She's charging.
Oh, she's so good.
Yeah,
she's so good. So I think I
in the family.
get the skin from her. Yeah.
Good
so
stuff.
hopefully by the time I am 60, which is like years away. Next year. I'll look 50. I'll look like Greg Murphy.
Yeah.
I'll look like Greg Murphy.
Oh, you gotta aspire, don't you? Do you like driving?
I do enjoy driving. I love the sense of independence and freedom that it gives you, and I love driving away to do gigs, like a couple of days away, just sort of drive down to the Waikato or something and do a couple of, it's just great. I just feel like I'm...
Oh, that's good.
Not that I have anything to get away from. I have a very happy, contented life, but just that feeling of, it's just me. I could go anywhere I want. I can pull into this petrol station and eat 2 pies. Yeah. And no one would know.
No one will know.
And I can just never mention it ever again. No, I love it. I love it.
Oh, that's good to hear. Is this car a Paul Ego decision, or is it a wife decision?
It's a Paul...
How does it work for you?
It's a Paul Ego decision, but we were getting a new car for my wife. My wife, Janine, drives a Honda Jazz. She's one of the small little...
Well, you're a Honda. You really are a Honda family.
Well, yeah, we drove the Honda Jazz, and it was such an amazing drive and so responsive and, quite quick on those takeoff lanes when you need to be for a little car. And so I thought, it's quick, but I look a little bit ridiculous in it. A bit like a giraffe sitting in a shoebox. So I thought, when it comes time to update my car, which I think it was just a bit of jealousy. I didn't need to update my car.
Yeah, it's like...
I was like, I want a Jazz, but a bit bigger. So this is like the small SUV model of the Hondas. And it's great. It's so good to drive. It's awesome.
Does the job.
Yeah. I'd like a bigger one, really. Like a big Toyota Highlander. I had a Highlander once, but it was just too big. We couldn't fit it in the driveway.
But you how long have you lived in Auckland? Pretty much ever, or not?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I lived in Christchurch a little bit when my dad worked down there when I was like, I don't know, 8 or 10, a couple of years. But apart from that, we've been in Auckland the whole time.
Yeah, and
love it.
Big cars are good and all that, but when you're in the big city, they can be quite annoying and difficult as well. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, where we live on the North Shore of Auckland, in a particular suburb, like pretty much everyone drives a European big tank thing. Just in case they hit a rhinoceros on the way to the sushi shop. So when you have a smaller car, you feel really left out and you can't see anything pulling out of parallel park. So I guess everybody ends up going, well, I've got to get a bigger car. And then where do you stop? Suddenly you're driving you're driving to work in one of those Crown cranes.
Well, 20 years ago, a Honda Jazz was actually a big car.
Wow, is that right? Okay.
Little cars have got to the size that our big cars were.
Sure.
30, when we were growing up.
Gotcha.
Oh, geez, our Holden Commodore, she's a big car. But you compare that to what's a sedan, a large sedan is today. They're like massively so.
I
like the way small cars are not small cars.
I like the way you crammed Holden Commodore in.
Did you like that?
I was wondering how long.
And they don't pay me anymore either, because they don't exist. They've gone.
No, well, that's it.
Yeah.
If you owned a Holden now, if you were to buy a Holden now, would it be a really bad decision? Like, could you get it fixed and maintained?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah,
it's not a problem. It's people that have got certain Holdens and HSVs and Ford Falcons and stuff. Certain ones are actually very valuable.
Okay.
I actually see them going. I think that kind of stuff down the track is still going to maintain good value because they actually are a piece of motoring history, unlike a lot of stuff these days, which is just pretty bland and boring. But I think that they are they're going to be they are collectors. A lot of them are collectors' items, and they will maintain and still be for a very, very long time. But anyway, it's such a significant piece of motoring history.
A Commodore station wagon for a while, and my God, it was good.
Yeah,
it was such a good car. And then it had some sort of engine fault. where it would just lose all its power when it got onto the motorway. I'd accelerate up to 80, and then the engine would just die, and then it would come back on again. And they tried for ages to fix it. You know, it's that thing where they just plug their computer.
Yeah, they go, there's nothing wrong with it, Paul.
Yeah, and the computer on the car.
Here's a bill for $180.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're like, you literally must have imagined it. I'm like, it happens every time.
And then you start to believe that it's
exactly.
you. Yeah.
Like, am I going nuts? So in the end, I sold it back to them and lost quite a bit of money because I'm great with finances.
And also being talked into things by the sound.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm a sucker for a sweet deal that doesn't quite work.
Oh, that's funny. That's very funny. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in West Auckland, really.
Oh, okay.
Te Atatū, and then lived in New Windsor.
So you should be a bogan.
Well, a little bit. Like, the first album I ever bought was AC/DC Back in Black, and it's still pretty much one of my favourite top 5 albums. So I lived in New Windsor, went to Avondale College and was in sort of a band with mates and stuff, and then I met my wife, who's from Devonport, and we've kind of been there ever since, really.
Shit.
It's wonderful. My God, I love it. Love it.
So you started driving and learning to drive and stuff then in the West. Is that where?
Yeah, sort of in the West. I worked for a signwriting company. This was before I started doing comedy. So I probably started with them a couple of years out of school, did an apprenticeship. And they were based in Ponsonby Road in Auckland. And so I sort of had to get my license because I was the apprentice, and you sort of need to drive the work utes and all that sort of thing. So I didn't get my license probably until I was like 19, I would say, 18, 19.
Late going.
Which, pretty late going.
Considering how easy it was back then to get a license.
This is it. And were
you driving without a license?
No. No, I didn't. No, I didn't have a car or anything like that. So all the other guys that I was in this band with when I met my wife, they all drove, and I didn't have a car, and I could just never get to band practice. And they never offered to give me a lift. So. And then I was like, this is too hard. I might leave the band, so I did.
You didn't get a license, you left the band.
That's right, mate. You've got to make good decisions sometimes. So
that's pretty funny.
I learned to drive so that I could drive the work utes. In fact, the first...
Jesus.
Holy cow.
Shit.
So, not to name the company, but an urgent courier on a three-wheeled bike.
Oh my God.
Has just gone straight through a roundabout.
He nearly needed the ambulance.
Against a red light.
He went through a red light at the intersection of...
Unbelievable.
Oh my God. Okay.
So that's urgent couriers, because he urgently wants to get to the
he urgently would like to be killed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, that was scary.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if we had a camera pointing in the right direction.
Holy cow. That was... Oh my God. So the first car accident I ever had
was here we go. I didn't even ask this question.
Was in my boss's ute. He had a Toyota Hiace, and I'd never driven anything that powerful before. And so, I'd drive it. We'd go to Carter's during the day and pick up sheets of board for all that sort of stuff. And then there was one weekend where he had to leave the ute at work, and he's like, "Oh, Paul, can you park my ute inside and then leave the keys there," and that sort of thing. And he'd let me use the ute a little bit, like sometimes I'd be able to drive it home and then I would drive it back to work the next morning and that sort of thing. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then on this particular weekend, I was still in this band at that point. We had a gig out at Piha, and I just met Janine, who was to become my wife, and was really smitten, and her girlfriend would come along to our gigs, and I thought it'd be really cool if I could drive them to this gig in Piha with this brand new work ute. Go and pick them up. They're going to think I'm so cool.
Yeah.
So I took the work ute from work and went and picked them up, and we went into the gig in Piha, and it went really great. And
okay, so it went good till that point.
And the three of us even slept in the back of the ute that night outside the Piha Surf Club.
I'll go right around. We'll go back up the hill.
And and so, okay, go right round the round. I'm like the urgent courier now.
We could just keep going, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we slept in the back of the ute, and then the next, because I'd had a few drinks, so I thought we'll sleep there the next day.
Sensible.
I'll drive back to Avondale. and we came up the Piha Hill, and I came around this corner probably a bit too quick. I wasn't really used to the power of the car. And as we came around the corner, there was a guy stopped in the middle of the road to turn right into his driveway.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that he was going to turn right. So I went to overtake him on the other side of the road. And thinking that he just stopped there. And he started to turn. So I pulled hard right and went straight down into this ditch. And as I did that, we were fine, but and we nosedived my boss's ute into this ditch. As we went down into the ditch, around the other corner, because it was like an S-bend, comes this van full of policemen. And they literally pulled up and they were like, "Everything all right?" I'm like, oh my God, it was so embarrassing. I had to call my boss. And
What about bloody Janine though?
yeah, I know, she's still with me. Who knows?
Man.
I mean, thankfully they were both okay, and it was so embarrassing, but that was one of the worst calls I've ever had to make, to actually call my boss and tell him that not only had I borrowed his car when I said I wouldn't,
Yeah.
but I'd had an accident with it, and you know, he was very good about it.
He was.
I think I actually got.
You didn't lose the girl, and you didn't lose your job.
I didn't. I did get done for dangerous driving though. I had to go to the
ya?
Henderson court, and yeah,
Oh, you're not the first one.
got done for dangerous driving. I think it was just a fine,
Yeah.
and maybe some demerit points. But yeah, it was really
Well,
scary.
I think at that point the embarrassment of it alone is really punishment enough.
That was it was so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
That's
and
cool.
that wasn't long after I'd got my license, so it was like a really
Wake up call too, eh?
Oh, it really was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, generally speaking, I've been very careful ever since. But boy, it shows you how easy it can happen if you're not.
It does.
Just not thinking or paying attention. And,
well, that's what happens most of the time. That's why most of the stuff does happen, because of exactly those things. And we all do make those. We all make mistakes. Sometimes we get away with it, and sometimes we don't.
Yeah, for sure.
You've been on a. We'll go straight down, and then have you been done a road trip with fellow comedians? Wouldn't that'd actually be a good bloody laugh? Filming that, a bunch of you in a car.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Have you done that?
We'll be doing that again this November when we do the 7 days live tour. So that's,
and you've done those plenty of times before. So have you actually spent time in a van or a bloody vehicle together? And
we have, and it's interesting too that
is it as funny or as good as what we all wish it was?
Oh yeah, it's pretty funny.
It is,
There's some great banter for sure. But everyone assumes their roles pretty early on. Like, like everyone just assumes that it's either me or Jeremy Corbett are going to drive.
Yeah.
Just because we're
10
years older than everyone else.
Yeah.
Like they just, so there's a lot of like people just getting into the back of the van and just go.
Hasn't been discussed.
And me and Corbett going, well, I guess we're driving. You know? But the thing is, I would actually prefer to drive than be a passenger anyway. So it's usually me or Corbett or Di. Di's a really good driver.
Yeah.
The three of us will, one of the three of us will drive. But yeah, no, they're good trips. We try not to make the legs on the tour too long driving wise, because it just gets a little bit punishing. Anything over about 4 hours is to me is just a bit long, you know. So we try and fly where we can, but there's a few good stretches where it's nice to drive and do a tour of New Zealand's best pie shops and all that sort of business.
But isn't that actually would be that'd be entertaining to actually follow. Have you guys thought about that?
We haven't thought about it, no.
Especially if you're visiting pie shops.
Well, exactly. Yes.
And then talking about the pies and giving them reviews.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I should do.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I just want to be credited in the credits, basically.
Okay.
As the ideas guy.
Okay. He's the ideas man.
If you could do that.
He's the ideas man.
Otherwise,
Steve.
you can have that for free. Yeah. Being a big music guy, we'll go there. Being a big music guy.
Yeah.
Bloody playlist on in the car must be a big part of what.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a big fan of creating playlists, mainly Spotify. So definitely do that. And I've got a few. I've got like, driving tunes. I've got even like a classical playlist. I quite enjoy classical music. Sometimes if I want something a bit kind of relaxing but inspiring.
Break it up.
Yeah, I've got like a George FM playlist, my favourite sort of dance tunes, a rock one, so it's really good. And with hands free, it's great that you can ask for certain songs. And
well done there. There's a little hands free.
Yeah, man, it's great
good stuff.
I even use
safety first.
I use hands-free to, like if I come up with a comedy idea while I'm driving, I'll just do, the old hands-free, like make a note. What do you want the note to say? Stand-up idea. Pigeons. Are some of them racist? And then the voice will say, I've created your note. Pigeons. Are some of them racist? Is that what you want to say? Yes. But then I'll forget about it, and then I'll look through my notes in a few months' time, and it'll just say, pigeons. Are some of them racist? And I'll go, what the fuck is that?
Siri, why did I do this?
Why?
Yeah. Why did you create this note?
Yeah, maybe I meant doves. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, it's gone now.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Are we getting out? Should we get out?
Well, we've arrived back at the studio.
Yeah, sure.
But hey, can I say?
Yes.
I think I gave you, you obviously intuitively read my mind because you went exactly where we were going to go without me actually telling you. So that was pretty good. Good. A couple of little directions. Great driving too.
Thank you.
Very smooth.
Thank you very much. Well, it's an easy car to drive.
Oh, don't put it on. Don't fucking don't give the car the credit.
Okay. It is.
The operator still has to do the
shit. I'm a very smooth driver.
Yeah.
What I tend to do is oil my hands before I drive.
I didn't push my feet through the floorboards.
Oh, that's such a horrible feeling, isn't it? When you're just one of the hardest things is when you know someone, like maybe they're even a close friend, but they're a terrible driver.
Oh yeah.
And you feel quite nervous or unsafe about
I'll
driving.
I'll tell them.
Oh, will you?
Oh shit you.
How do you say it though?
You're a shit driver.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much straight.
So quite direct.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna beat around the bush on that one.
Yeah.
Thank you, mate. Well, let's
it's a pleasure.
Jump out. We've got more to do. We're going to go in the studio now. But
what?
I know.
God.
I know. We've probably run out of stuff to talk about. Anyway, we'll give it a go.
All right.
Thank you, Paul. Right, back in the studio.
It's nice. It's comfortable.
There's
less movement, which is is good.
I don't feel it anywhere near as sick.
Some sort of a quake.
You're suitably attired.
Thank you. Yes.
Where did the loud shirt idea come from? Was it just something that's always been part of your palette?
I didn't used to wear loud shirts when I was doing stand-up, but when 7 Days came along, I wasn't really thinking about what to wear, and I had this one really bright red shirt with sort of black patterns on it, and it was just like day glow. It was so bright, and I thought I'll wear that just because I can't think of what else to wear. So I wore it, and instantly when the show aired, I got a text from a guy I know down in Christchurch saying, "Where did you get that horrendous shirt? It looks like it's from the $2 shop."
Yeah.
And because he's a bit of a dick, I thought, well, I'm just going to wear a bright shirt every week now just to piss you off.
And hope he keeps sending you messages.
So that's literally how it started. And then it became my thing. And I think also because I've got such a bland face that, I don't know, it's fine. It does things. It works. But particularly now that I'm bald, there's not much happening there.
Right.
So anything interesting I can have on the torso,
take the focus off.
Take the focus off.
Yeah.
People won't realise. They'll just think, wow, it's just like a bright shirt. Like I literally say in my stand-up when I walk out, I know when I came out, people just thought, oh, there's a roll-on deodorant with a bright shirt on. And that's sort of, I guess, how I look. So now it's become my thing, really.
I just love, the reasons why people do those things. That is a great reason, because some dick texts you and go, where'd you get that bloody horrible shirt? You're like, that's it.
Yeah. I'm like lean into it, try and make him even angrier. It didn't put me off. It just made me want to do it more.
I enjoy that a lot. You're very well known as a comedian. And all the things that you've done on television and radio and the likes. But a lot of people wouldn't know that lead singer of a band in the 80s.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's, so I came to comedy, I guess, quite, well, what I like to think is a lot later in life than some of our best comics now. You look at the likes of great New Zealand comics like Rhys Mathewson and Mel Bracewell and sort of Ray O'Leary, who sort of started in the early 20s, even teens with Rhys Mathewson. I think he was 16 or something when he started Crazy. I didn't start comedy till I was 28, but before that, I sung in bands. I've always loved singing and always loved performing. So I did the classic, at school. I was in the school productions, and I played the wizard in the Avondale College production of Aladdin. I was the wizard, and my mum made me like really long green fingernails out of green hoses. Like we had some green garden hose at home, and she made me these long green fingernails. They were amazing. And so I've always enjoyed that side of things. And then, I just got into a band with some mates from school, and then the elder brother of the guy who was the drummer in our band had like a slightly better band, and he was like, do you want to come and sing in our band? And I was like, yeah, I'll come and sing with the older guys, that's cool. So I was, this band called the Yes Men that I was in with some good mates for quite a few years, and that's how I met my wife. I met my wife, Janine, at Waihi Beach. We were doing a New Year's Eve gig at Waimata Hall, which is just outside of Waihi from memory.
Jeez, big booking.
Yeah, big booking, mate. And it was a pretty raucous gig. There was, I think, 3 bands on. We were the last ones on, and we played up to midnight. And I remember we used to play covers, just kind of new wave and the Cure and the Clash and that sort of thing. We had some originals, but they were not very good. So we played mainly covers. And we probably
can't listen to those on Spotify.
No, I don't think they're on Spotify. I've got something on a mini disc somewhere, but I'm not going to give it to you. And we probably played something like "Should I Stay or Should I Go" by the Clash at midnight, and then I jumped down off the stage and I saw this girl in the audience, and we had a dance together and a bit of a passion. That was my wife, Janine.
Holy!
And we've been together ever since. So that was.
Mate, she was just like, you're just like, I am the lead singer. I'm jumping out, just
in
like,
a band.
Right, who wants to pash me?
Yeah, she was like, who's that hot guy with all the hair? Well, the joke's on her now.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Mullet, yeah. Did you have?
I did. Yeah, big frosted mullet. Yeah, lovely, quite high. Very Duran-y. I guess in many ways.
If I search Paul Ego mullet on Instagram.
Oh, you'll definitely see some photos. Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone's going to do that now.
It's probably got
now,
its
everyone that's
own
listening
career.
to this is just flipped open the laptop. It's just like,
Whatever happened to Paul Ego's mullet? It's probably being hunted somewhere in the bush.
And you were the mantis.
I was the mantis on The Masked Singer. Yes, I did that. When was The Masked Singer? 4 or 5 years ago, when I needed the money.
Right.
And I actually quite enjoyed it.
So you didn't need a lot of money. You just needed some money.
Just some money to get through the year. So I agreed to do that. I'm not normally a big fan of those kind of reality shows, but I thought it's kind of in my wheelhouse doing the singing a little bit. And I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I enjoyed the process of learning to sing again, because they give you a vocal coach and teach you how to use your own voice. Yeah. Right. So that part of it I actually really enjoyed, and creating the songs and that was really cool. The standing around inside this really massive hot suit was not so much fun. But
okay, cool. Paul, we're just going to do that again.
One more time.
Yeah.
One more time. They actually have some of the wardrobe people come up to you, and if you've got like an opening in your suit.
Fan.
They literally have handheld fans, and they're firing this cold air in because you're just dripping inside. It's gross. It's really gross. Yeah. But it was fun to do.
Yeah, good on you. Have you always been funny? Like, you said you started pretty late, obviously, 28.
Yeah.
When you first did your first appearance or first gig kind of deal. But you've always been a bit of a funny guy. You obviously were. You had to have been. You have to have been one quick one-liner and all that kind of stuff.
It's interesting. I never really thought of myself as funny, although comedy was a big part of our household. Like my mum and dad are both British, and I was English too. I was only 3 months old when I came out, but they came from a long line of comedy fans where I distinctly remember my dad was a big fan of the Goons and Peter Sellers and all those kind of iconic, British comics, Spike Milligan, all that sort of thing. So we would have like comedy records rather than music records. Yeah. So if mum and dad had some friends around for dinner, like a family dinner, mum and dad would put on like a Peter Sellers or a Goons record, like after dinner or during dinner rather than music, which we, growing up, me and my brother Dave, thought it was the most natural thing ever because we used to listen to them all the time. But it was a bit odd because mum and dad would be pissing themselves and the other couple would be like, some bit of Neil Diamond might have been nice rather than these weird records. So we always had a lot of comedy in the house. Yeah. I never thought of myself as funny, but then I remember after I'd been doing stand-up for a little while, and I was at the Classic Comedy Club and I saw somebody that I'd been to like intermediate school with, like just recognised their face. And they instantly said, I'm not surprised you got into comedy. You used to be so funny walking home from school, you'd have us absolutely cracking up. And I have actually had no memory of that whatsoever. So,
but that was your personality.
I guess it just was. Yeah. I think I've always been quite a quick thinker, and my first port of call, even to this day, even with quite serious things that happen, whether it's within the family or something like that, is where's the funny in that? What would be the funniest or the worst thing I could say? I could say right now. That's just where my brain goes. Even if it's bad news, you know, if one of the boys came in and went, "Oh, you know, I broke my leg or I failed this exam," my first thought was always, "What can I say that's funny?"
Yeah.
You know, and then the next thing is sympathy.
Yeah.
You know, it's just how my brain.
Then
works.
you apologise.
That's right. Then I apologise.
So what was the impetus to actually head off in this direction?
It was actually my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law, Maxine, was living with my wife and I in London at the time. So we got married in 1989. We moved to the UK.
Diving off the stage and bloody grabbing her.
That's it.
Janine by the just pashing.
That was it, mate.
Yeah.
Big pash.
Yeah.
It lasted 4 years. It was the world's longest pash. So we got married in 89. I think we went over to the UK in 90. Because I've got a British passport, so we could stay there a little bit longer. We're there for about.
You still got the baby photo? Was the photo from 3 months old?
Oh, was it 3 months old? I can't remember now. It would have been quite young, that's for sure. Yeah. But we were there just under 5, just sort of working and doing trips and doing the OE thing, and then we'd go and see stand up quite a bit, like on a Friday night at a room above a pub, and would take along my sister-in-law with us, and we went a few times, and then one day she just said, "Have you ever thought of trying stand up? Because you've always been so quick. I reckon you'd be really funny." And I was like,
"What?
I don't think so. I'm a singer and a sign writer guy." And then every time she'd go away travelling for a few months, and then she'd come back again and stay with us after doing a few trips, and she'd go, "Have you booked a stand-up gig yet?" And I was like,
so
"No, I thought you were joking."
She nagged you.
She literally just snagged me. Like, it probably took her 3 or 4 times saying it before she sort of planted the scene. I went, "Oh, number one, I'll do it just to get her off my back. And number two, I'll do it because maybe she's right." And so I did it, and I just instantly loved it and went, "Oh my God, we're in London. We've been there like 4 years by that point." I'm like, we're in the home of comedy, and I've just been sitting around doing side writing and stuff. Why didn't I do this years ago? So I just booked as many gigs as I could in the last year that we were there, and just wrote as much material as I could. And then when we came back to New Zealand, just found out where the comedy was on and just started doing it as much as I could. Yeah,
Bloody
just
hell.
loved it so much. Still do. I still love it to this day.
So was it easy when you find I'll have a go? Was it quite easy to create those structures to be able to stand up there and
It felt quite natural to me to stand up on stage and deliver gags. Yeah. I've never been. I would just write. This is when I started. So this is like 1994, 95. There were no iPhones. You couldn't make notes on iPhones. So it was all like writing down longhand on the tube. So I'd be on the tube just trying to think, right, what's funny? What's in the news? What's funny about that item? And so I'd just write and come up with 5 minutes, and you'd get little germs of ideas and you go, okay, there's something in that. I'll pursue that next time. And I really enjoyed it, that thing of, okay, there's something in that. What's the next step forward in that? And then you get 5 minutes that kind of works. You go, right, now I'll build up to 7 minutes. Got to get 7 minutes, then 10, then a 15. Then you become a 20-minute comedian. Then if it all goes well, you start doing 30 to 40 minutes, which is what I do now,
Wow.
Yeah, I still love it.
And so what about heading out onto the stage, that first show in the UK? Was like anxiety, nervousness?
Yeah, I was pretty nervous because it was, it wasn't a big room. It was just a room above a pub. It was an open mic night, and basically all our friends, everybody that we knew in the UK came along, which is normally just the kiss of death. Like you're absolutely going to eat shit at a gig if family say, "We want to come." But it wasn't too bad. I got a few laughs, and I remember one of my mates who came along was really nervous for me, so he was tapping his fingers on the table the whole time.
And you could see or hear it or something?
Well, I could, because I had a little dictaphone on the table to record my gig, and all you could hear was me talking, but then just this constant tapping all the way through. And I'm like, you idiot. Anyway. But yeah, it went, I've still got that dictaphone somewhere in that recording, I think. Yeah.
Jeez,
so,
you bet you should have.
That's
awesome.
I think I've still got it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. Yeah, I was very nervous.
Right,
and I still get nervous before gigs. But
of course.
It's an excitement nervousness.
Yeah.
Because you never want to go, oh, I'm absolutely going to absolutely going to slay here, and then you do, and then you go, yeah, I knew that would happen.
Yeah.
There's always the thought in my mind of, what if this is the one where I really suck?
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't. I've been doing it a long time. I shouldn't suck. But you never know. Sometimes you're just the wrong
crowd.
The wrong crowd. You're the wrong comedian. You're in the wrong. You've had that one beer too many. Maybe you've got someone else on your mind. You're a bit angry about something. That can come across. There's all sorts of things that you kind of can go, why did that not work? And usually you know exactly why afterwards. But thankfully, most of the time, I don't have many of those gigs anymore.
But again, it's a rush, right? You must the
so
rush,
good.
the buzz and the adrenaline from it must be
great.
And that's why the good ones are able to keep bloody producing, I suppose, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess I'm at the point now where most of the gigs I do are like a feature set, like a 30 or 40 minute. And generally speaking, I'll know maybe about 20 minutes of that, I'll know exactly what I'm going to say. Like I've got tested material that's been working, say, for the last year, I would have been doing probably the same 30 minutes that I do most of the time. I've got a front and a back that I know will work pretty much every time. They're road tested. And, it feels great getting laughs from that because it reinforces, yes, I knew that was going to work. That is a funny bit. I'm not surprised you're laughing. But the real good ones are when you think of something off the cuff like a new idea and it gets just as big a laugh as a bit that you've tried and tested over years. Yeah. And that's just like, oh my God, that's just amazing. Like that literally popped into my head. I said it to you.
Yeah.
You went, that's great. And you all laughed. I'm just like, wow, that's incredible. And then
Killer.
Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
Using you.
Oh,
there you go.
That screws me over all the time.
Murphy's Law. You'll do exactly the same thing next time. It'll people will just be like, it's all right. You're just like, what? This is a great bit. You told me it was a great bit.
Thanks, Murphy's Law. Yeah. Have you inspirations? People, other comedians. So comedians that have inspired, like even like right from the beginning though too. The type of humour from certain people.
Yeah, well, the comedians that I enjoyed watching when I first started, that I just kind of went, oh my God, how did they do that? Eddie Izzard was a big one for me. Yeah. Just, his kind of ability to sort of take things and turn simple things into ridiculous ideas. He used to do a thing about, cats behind the couch and it sounds like they're operating machinery, and he would act it out and that sort of thing. And, we went to see Eddie Izzard quite a few times in the UK. That was really great. Then I got into Bill Hicks for a while, American comic, who's sadly no longer with us. But there was quite a lot of, I guess, anger and political commentary in his side of things. So my comedy started to go a little bit that way. This is sort of in the early days, and it didn't really feel like me, but I thought, maybe that's the way to go. And then I came more back towards the silliness and the observational side of Eddie Izzard. And then as far as, I guess, New Zealand comedy goes, I mean, he's a good mate of mine now. We're sort of best mates, but I didn't really know him at the time. But Jeremy Corbett was a huge inspiration to me. Him and his brother Nigel, the Corbett brothers. When I first started out, there were kind of about half a dozen really good New Zealand comics who were kind of like what you would aim for as far as, as Jeremy Corbett, there was Mike King, Dean Butler, Willie DeWitt. There was kind of about, all these guys, and we were kind of the newbies. But, God, I just found him amazing. And then I was lucky enough to get to work with him and Kim and Corbett in Auckland. And just, he's just got such a really quick mind and also a silliness. I think him and I both really enjoy the silly. The ridiculous things that are just ridiculous for no other reason that they're just ridiculous, and we just find them really, really funny. I think that's probably why we're such close friends now. But he was a real idol of mine and still is, I think, really. Yeah.
That's unreal. That's so good.
Yeah, please don't tell him that. He's so up himself.
He won't listen.
Honestly,
he won't listen to this.
Terrible human.
I won't send it to him. How's it? You sort of touched a little bit. You went off. You followed off on a different tangent because you thought that, and then you went back to your sort of the thing that really was easy for you, the silliness stuff in space. But how's the being able to deliver certain content and things for you changed over the year? I mean, it's the way, what's politically correct and what's not these days, or some people don't. Most of us don't really give a shit, but there's certain people that is the content sort of changed much for you, or is it maintained the same? Do you have to deliver it differently or anything like that?
I think my
compared to 20 years ago.
I think my content has changed anyway, because when I started out, I was married but didn't have kids or anything, so most of my comedy was like not necessarily talking about my own life or sort of those sorts of things. It was more like stuff that's happening in the media, or
out in front
I would kind of think of, which I don't think particularly worked for me, was I'd kind of go, okay, what's funny? What would be a funny thing? And it'd be a funny thing to mock this particular type of person because it's an easy target, and that's an easy thing to write jokes about, somebody who's overweight or something like that. And I look back at some of my early routines on early pulp comedies and that sort of thing, and I'm like, oh God, I would never say that. I would never do that now. What a dick. But at the time it was fine. I mean, it wasn't horrendous, but at the time I certainly wouldn't do jokes about that now. But I think over time I've just thought, well, it's just easier to actually make me the object of mockery. So I just talk about my own life. I talk about my boys a lot and how dumb boys are, which they are, and they're wonderful, but they're dumb. And that's been a huge thing. So I think it's much nicer to actually talk about your own life and things that happen around you. And it's just I guess a much easier way of writing, because it's writing from a place of truth, I suppose.
Yeah,
really,
sure.
Rather than going,
not trying to be like you say. Your comedy is not offensive as such, or people would see that as being, Ricky Gervais who just targets the most diverse and just goes at it.
Politics or religion,
and he's unapologetic about it, which I find that incredibly funny.
Oh, he's amazing at what he does.
And most people do take it for what it is, which is...
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think with me too, a lot of it comes from laziness. Like, I can't actually be bothered researching a subject enough to actually write jokes on it. I'm not going to go, I want to write a joke about... God knows, the conflict in the Middle East. I mean, I wouldn't, but then I have to go, okay, well, I need to
challenge.
know
You'd have to be fucking good, wouldn't you?
God knows. I'd much rather write a joke about how hard it is to use a frickin' barcode on your phone when you're trying to buy a concert ticket. Just everyday stuff that people go, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Couldn't agree more with. That's the go.
Yeah.
Man, you've done your fair share of radio over the years.
Yeah. It's been great.
Wow.
I've actually really enjoyed it. That's sort of how I first started to work with Jeremy, that I got to know Jeremy Corbett a little bit through the stand-up scene, and then him and his co-host Kim were looking for another comedian to sort of just workshop ideas with, to come up with for their show, characters and stuff, because that was... When did I join them? I think 1998, maybe we first started working together. Radio was very different then. It wasn't really about getting lots of listeners on board to tell their stories and, sort of share stuff like it seems to be now. It was kind of, it was characters, and it was, sort of just coming up with segments and bits and that sort of thing. So I'd done some writing for a couple of radio serials. One of them was called Starship Cortina, and the other one was News and Briefs, and they were both New Zealand On Air funded, with David Downs and Dave Horn. They were sort of the producers of it, and so I started doing spec writing scripts for these. They were like a 1-minute comedy segment that New Zealand On Air would fund, and then radio stations could kind of buy them to play during the day, and it was kind of like sketch sort of stuff. So I started spec writing gags for that, and then they asked me to be the script editor for both of the shows, so overlooking other people's scripts and then making them funnier. And I think I've always been quite good at that, at hearing or listening to other people's comedy and going, that's really great, I can see what you did there. Have you thought about maybe doing that? And I don't know, maybe it's the nosy person in me, but I really love it. And so Jeremy and Kim asked me to come and do some sort of writing with them, and we came up with a radio serial called Millennium Moments, which ended up winning a radio award. And it was sort of like a news update, but it was like the news from the future. So it was going into the millennium. So we did it in 1999, and it was kind of like I'd voiced it and we wrote it together, and I was like, the year is 2013 and New Zealand Prime Minister Jason Gunn has decided that blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of like a lot of what-if sort of things. So we'd write about 5 of those and they'd play each one every day. And it won a radio award. It was really great. And so from there, they asked me to come on board full-time and be their producer. So that was writing comedy bits, voicing characters who would call up the show and that sort of thing. And yeah, I was with them for, 6 years maybe.
Hell.
And then I got picked up with like a crown crane, picked up and deposited at the Rock, and then I joined the Morning Rumble, and I was there for quite a few years as well, and then went back to More FM just a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's been good. I always enjoyed it. The morning hours are so punishing.
I honestly still don't know how people. I mean, the routine obviously, but you must. It takes a while to be able to lock yourself into that routine.
It does. I think, particularly for those first 2 shows, the More FM, the Rock. I loved doing the show so much that you actually wake up excited to go to work, and it was great, And the pay's pretty good. The people that you're working with was great. I was proud of the stuff that we were creating. We won quite a few radio awards, which was awesome. That was a good feeling, and it was nice that I was there. I wasn't there in the mornings for my wife and the kids, but I was there in the afternoon, I was there for school pickup and that sort of thing, So that was really great. There's a side of it that was really good.
Yeah, that stuff does, yes, you've got to commit to these incredibly interesting hours and bits and pieces, but your days become very, the way you see hours and time is very different. But as you say, you get your afternoons and bits and pieces around you as well. But
I found it hard when I went back. I went back only a couple of years ago to More FM, and I found it much harder because I was like 15 years older, I suppose, than the last time I did it. So just that, the getting up early, I could get up. I mean, I'd need 2 alarms to wake up, but I could get up. But afterwards, that late morning into kind of lunchtime time, I was just an absolute zombie.
Daze, just a fog.
Just couldn't do it, like emotionally and mentally. It was just so incredibly draining. So I'd have a nap. I'd have a nap in the middle of the day, like when I got home, like about midday after the show, because generally finish around late morning, early. So I'd go home, I'd nap for about 3 hours until say 3 o'clock, and then wake up and have dinner, and then go back to bed. Like about 9 o'clock, and sleep through till 4, and just do that every day. So I really look forward to my weekends. That's for sure.
Wow. You would have just think about all the things that just passed you by.
Oh,
that
amazing.
You just didn't even
you just couldn't do. You couldn't really go out during the week, and I couldn't go and do midweek gigs as I can now, which is awesome. People call me up now. They go, "Oh, can you do 2 gigs in Hamilton on Wednesday and Thursday night?" And I go, "Yes, I can."
Yeah.
Hop in the car, away I go, play golf on the way, do 2 gigs, come home. Oh, it's living the dream. It's living the dream.
Mint. 7 days must be just one of the, must be so proud, everyone that's involved in that.
Yeah.
How long has it existed?
Okay, I want to say that we recorded the pilot in 2008, and I think the first episode was 2009, so that's got to be 17 years.
Some things just go and live such an incredible life, and other things, for no reason you don't understand, don't. But this has just managed to exist. So everyone must be so proud of that.
Oh, we totally are, and I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of the work that I've done on it, and also I'm proud of everybody.
Yeah, and what it's done for brought other comedians and really given them a platform.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you'll see pretty much everyone who's been on 7 days, even if they've only been on that, say, once or twice, you'll see a poster for a gig that they've got, and they will always try and put on, as seen on 7 days. Because that's how the majority of Middle New Zealand would have seen a lot of these younger comics or Aussie comics who've come over from Australia to be on the show. That's when they would have seen them, and that can sell more tickets. It can get people along to your live gigs if they wouldn't normally take a chance on somebody they don't know. So it's been incredible, I think, for New Zealand comedy, and I've obviously working with Jeremy again, and then getting to know Di Hemwood a lot more. We're really, really close. And we're really proud of the show that we've created and the friendships that we've created. It's been wonderful.
That's a lot of shows. I wonder what the number is.
Well, I remember before when Di and I were still regular captains on the show every week, we got past 300 episodes for sure.
Yeah.
I think we're into maybe even the 350s, heading towards the 400s. So yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot of people laughing.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Mate,
but people still come up all the time.
Of course
and
they
like,
do.
oh my God, we love 7 Days. We watch it every week. It's
means
our family.
so much, right?
It's our family watch.
Yeah.
A lot of people would watch it as a family sit down on the Friday night thing. When TV3 was still like the home of comedy, the Friday night thing is you sit down and you'd watch, Graham Norton, and then you'd go into 7 Days, and then it would be Jono and Ben or whatever it was, And you could just, get some takeaways, bottle of wine. You didn't have to go out. It was great. You sit down and watch that on a Friday night. It was wonderful.
Well, something to be so proud of, man. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Really am. It's great.
So when did, and you got to tell me how it came about, this, Pack and Save Stickman. I mean, what I love the most about it, again, it's become so iconic, right?
Yeah.
But who was the smart person or was it you, that came up with such simplistic concept that has been so iconic and creates, again, laughs out of a supermarket advertising its brand?
Yeah.
Like, was there a creative, did it evolve from...
It did sort of evolve a little bit. There were certainly creatives who came up with it. Peter Vegas, who was with Draft FCB, he's been in New Zealand media and stuff for ages. Really, really funny guy. He actually wrote a book called Stickman, which was a little picture book of just drawn stickmen just doing weird things.
Flicking through.
With it, almost like one of those. Look what he's doing there. So he was behind it for a long time, and I don't know their surnames, but there were a couple of creatives called Chris and Billy who also worked for Draft FCB, who were behind the initial, I think, concepts of it. It's a long time ago now, so I'm trying to remember them. But essentially,
how many years?
Well, it's got to be similar to 7 Days. I think they happened around the same time. So I think it must be at least 16 or 17 years. Yeah. In fact, Stickman might be a little bit older than 7 Days. So maybe it's 17 and 7 Days is 6. Anyway,
it's close.
They both happened around a similar time.
Right.
But I just got called in, like a lot of other voice people or people who do voice artists, to do Pack and Save were looking at, rebranding what they were doing with their ads, because they'd always had like the basic yellow ads from memory.
Jeez, yeah, I can't even.
It used to just be, I think, a yellow screen, and there was like a conveyor belt, and items would go across, and it would just say, P's $6.99, and it would just go. It was sort of budget-ish, but they wanted to go in a new direction with this kind of Stickman kind of figure, kind of like, all we could afford is, the whole thing has always been, we spend so little money on the ads that we can make our savings to you, sort of thing. Yeah, exactly. So I went along to this recording studio with, I was scheduled to go in at certain times with lots of other voice artists, and the brief was basically that it was just a really basic Kiwi voice. They just wanted just a normal, basic Kiwi guy just reading the ad. So I just read it in this voice, just read, at Pack and Save, we da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And because that's what they asked for, of Kiwi-ish, like Kiwi blokey-ish. Anyway, so I read it in that voice, and then they would sort of go off the mic, and the engineer would talk to the couple of creatives in the studio. And then while they were doing that, because I was still on More FM with Kim and Corbett, I think, at that point, and I did lots of sort of character-y voices with them, so I would just muck around. I was just waiting in the studio. So as they were talking, I was just waiting in the studio going, this is taking a long time. Because I used to do this nasally sort of character on More FM. And I was just going, I wonder how long they're going to take this.
So you were taking the piss.
I was taking the piss and just amusing myself. And the engineer came back on because I didn't know that they could hear me. I was just fucking around. This is a true story. The engineer came back on. He said, "What's that voice that you're doing?"
My God!
And I went, "Sorry." I said, "Sorry, I didn't know you could hear me. I was just mucking around while you guys were talking." And he said, it's not what they asked for, but just out of fun, do you just want to record one in that kind of nasally voice, and we'll see."
So the engineer could have just gone, "Oh God, listen to that dickhead," and
he could have just gone, "So could you shut up?"
Yeah.
But he said, "No, let's record one in that voice." And I was like, "Okay." And Pack and Save, we do the sound, and I did that voice. And so And then he's like, thanks very much. And then they go away and you don't hear anything. And then I got the call up and they said, yeah, that's the voice they want. They want that one. I was like, you're joking. They said, no, they want that one. And I've been doing it ever since. It was just amazing. It was just amazing. And it's such fun. And when it started out, it was kind of like, it did evolve because when I first started doing it, the little Stickman figure was less sort of prominent. He was kind of doing things in the background. And it was like the voice was narrating, and it was kind of like, look at this little guy getting his savings.
You weren't him.
I wasn't him. No. I was just this weird voice going, look at what's he doing there.
Yeah.
And then over time, me and the creatives just started talking, going, well, maybe it would make sense if I was the voice. It can be more involved, And so he became more of a character in the ads, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's funny. I say,
I love that something has stood the test of time, though.
Yes. As
well.
Yeah, totally. And I say to people in my stand-up, because people always ask about Stickman when I'm doing stand-up.
Of course they do.
And I will say, there's a lot involved in doing the character. I have to turn up early to the studio, and I put on all these motion capture balls, and I form the Stickman poses, and then they turn that into the animation, like they do with Andy Serkis, when he did Gollum, and then they so it's none of that. Literally, all the animation is done. They just turn up, and all the animation's fantastic, and I just kind of watch it, and then we've got a script, and I try and time it to the script, and then we'll read out.
Do you write the scripts?
No, the scripts are written by
it seems
by the
like
creatives at the agency.
It could easily be you that write.
Well, we sort of it's collaborative a little bit, I suppose. They definitely write the majority of the script, and then I try and add, I guess, another 20% of Stickmanish personality to it. So we'll read one that's been signed off by Pack and Save, by Foodstuffs, and then we'll kind of go, well, how can we make it funnier? And so sometimes that's just watching the animation and go, oh, when he moves there, it'd be quite funny if he makes a noise when he falls down. So that's what's great about having the actual vision, the animation first, is I can go, oh, it'd be really funny if he trips there or makes a noise or something. And sometimes it's just things like just leaving more space, and leaving a big pause can be really wonderfully awkward.
Yeah.
Because I love awkward comedy.
Yeah.
It's so great. And those things stand out.
That was meant to be.
Ads are so like, Harvey Norman, blah, 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 blah. So when you get an ad, it's like, oh, look at this guy. Anyway.
It's so...
it's quite good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. It's been great fun. I still, just like stand-up, I still love doing it. Look forward to getting the call up every time. And they go, oh, you got a booking next week.
Because it's pretty frequent.
Yeah, sort of. It goes in patches, I suppose, depending on what they want to push. It's a meat week, or it's a beer and wine week. And sometimes we'll go in and we'll do a whole bunch together, and sometimes it's just one 15-second radio ad. So once every couple of weeks, I'm probably doing a few. Sometimes it's one script, sometimes it's 5. But yeah, it's been great.
What a thing!
Kept us going through lockdown. Tell you what, kept the wolf from the door. That's for sure for our family. Yeah, because I could do them at home. That was the thing during lockdown. When I couldn't go into the studio. They would send
you a file.
Yeah, they send me this little portable recording device.
Beautiful that it's a simplistic bloody stick guy. Someone's doing that on their computer, creating the vision.
Yeah,
and then you're over there. You don't have
And if it sounds a bit nasally and shit, that's good. That's how it's meant to sound.
Yeah,
I've got COVID. Yeah, and it's meant to sound budget. So I would go down to our spare bedroom downstairs, because we're doing quite well. We've got a spare bedroom.
Whoa.
And so, look how it goes.
There you go. There you go, everybody.
I think it was bedroom 5. I can't remember.
That was paid for by Stickman.
But I'd go down there and literally go into the wardrobe and pull a duvet over my head as the sound protection, and would have a little microphone like this, and I'd be under there doing that. And they sounded a bit more muffled than normally, but it was good enough.
He was confined to a small space just like everybody else was. He was locked down.
He was
locked down. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been great. I've really enjoyed it.
How could you not? When you started that 16, 17 years ago, again, if someone had told you 15, 16 years later that it would still be going, and it would have become an iconic place on people's televisions, that people would watch, not go to Pack and Save because of it, but just have a laugh.
Yes.
You would have gone, you're insane. That's
it's incredible.
That's the most insane thing I've ever heard.
You certainly don't think of that sort of longevity when you get those campaigns. It's like the 7 days thing. We thought if we get a year out of it. If we got 2 years out of it, it'd be amazing. And then suddenly you're at 5 years and you're like, oh my God.
Shit, this is all. When's this going to end?
Nobody cottoned on to the fact that it's just a bunch of comedian mates talking shit.
Yeah.
How long are we going to get away with this?
Yeah.
The fact that they're both still going is great. I'm very, very fortunate, that's for sure.
So I think I sort of do know the answer to this question because you said it earlier, and when we were doing for our drive, you were doing some sign writing. Is that the only real job you've ever had?
No. So when I first left school, I went to Avondale College, and I wanted to do something. Well, what I actually wanted to do was be a rock star. That was my goal. That was going to be my job. But that didn't happen. So I got a job at the post office instead, which is the next best thing. And I think I was just a mail clerk. Clerk? Clerk? I never know. Clerk? Anyway, I worked at the sort of mail desk at the post office.
Reading people's mail.
Yeah, exactly. Just steaming it open. I had my own iron. It was amazing. And got such a sore tongue from receiving.
That's where you got all your comedy from,
that's
really.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But it was like a desk job, and I'm a big guy. I'm 6'5". I've always been, very tall. But I'd only been working there about 6 months on this little desk, and I stuffed my neck like quite badly. I froze my neck up, and I just remember being off work. It would have been for a month, like just because you're just all day you're just looking down
locked
at this.
Into the down
and I remember just looking out one day, and going, oh. And I was only there about 6 months. I just couldn't work in an office job, and then I worked at our local dairy down the road from where we lived. The local Foursquare was looking for somebody. I was there for about a year, just serving ice creams and working at the shop. And then my dad...
You were clearly destined then to be involved in groceries.
Yeah, who
groceries,
knows? Yeah, I think it might have even been a Foursquare, which is
still the same brand.
The same brand. So good
go.
Lord, that was a clue. But then my dad said to me, look, you need to get yourself a trade of some sort, something that you can always say that you've got, regardless of what you end up doing in life. He said, you've always had really amazing handwriting. Like, I've always had quite nice writing. Because my grandfather had incredible. He would write letters.
But didn't they all back then?
They did. Well, that's
my grandmother. I remember, the cards that they used to, birthday cards and stuff, and you're like, holy, how do you do that?
Gorgeous cursive lettering, very fancy. So I used to love looking at my granddad's writing, and I would spend far too much time at school working on the heading of projects. Right. And then I'd have like 10 minutes left to do the 3-hour essay because I'd done the most beautiful heading. So that was the story of my life.
We'll give you 3 marks for that, Paul.
That's right. That is a good heading. Yeah. But my dad said, look, you've always had really nice handwriting. Why don't you consider something like sign writing? I was like, yeah, okay. And he was great, my dad. He was very proactive. And so he called up a few sign writing companies, and one of them that he called up was called Peak Display. They're still going, I think, in Auckland. And they agreed to have a little interview with my dad. Took me in, and they took me on as an apprentice. So I did my apprenticeship with them, which was about 5 years, I think. It's like 10,000 hours that you work, and then got my trade certificate. And then, he was right. It gave me something. When my wife and I moved to the UK to do our OE, I managed to get some sign writing stuff, and you could go and do little cashy jobs even, and that sort of thing. So, I still enjoy it from time to time. I've still got my sign writing toolkit with all my sign writing brushes in it.
Exactly. People have got, people of our age will know what we're talking about, but the fact that you were painting by hand.
Lettering. Yeah.
None of this computer wizardry, bloody cutting kind of stuff.
It's amazing.
It's proper sign writing.
And we would do gold leaf windows. You probably wouldn't even see that many gold leaf windows around, but often you would see them at like jewelers and fancy stuff like that, where you lay gold on the glass and then you back it up with paint, and it was all just the artistry of it was quite amazing. And I still enjoy the feeling of having a brush in my hand and doing that. And for me, it's almost like a mindfulness thing now. Like, I find it really relaxing. I don't have to think of jokes or anything like that. I just sit there and just form the letters with the brush, and I find it really relaxing.
But rewarding.
Yeah.
Because of what you're creating, I suppose, too, right? Yeah.
So, no, I really enjoyed it. It was great.
Far out. That's pretty clever. And pretty interesting as well. So, Janine fell in love with you because you were a bloody rock star. Yeah,
pretty much. I think because I was tall. I think she wanted the guy who was tall. So that was two things.
Has she admitted that she likes the funny side of you? Does she like your jokes, or is she a critic? She find you funny?
I think she does find me funny. She's not a critic. She's very funny in herself.
Really?
In fact, all the comedians that I know that are closest to have very funny wives who are very tolerant, but also quite kind of they keep us grounded. They're quite witty and that sort of thing. And Janine comes up with some absolute pearlers sometimes. I'm like, shit,
Do you use some?
Oh,
have you stolen anything from
not
it?
necessarily, but I not necessarily pride myself, but I'm kind of known for saying that. That one thing that's like, oh, Paul, that's a bit too far. And sometimes Janine will say something and I'll go, Jesus, babe. I'd say, not even I would say that. It's amazing. But she's great. She makes me laugh a lot. We laugh a lot together, which I think is definitely
How healthy is that?
One of the secrets of a relationship, that we can still have a chuckle despite all the challenges of
life,
modern life and parenting and that sort of thing. We piss ourselves laughing a lot, which is great.
Now, your boys are how old? You got
Gabriel is 25 and Isaac, our youngest, is 20.
20?
Yeah.
Do they think you're funny?
I think so. Yes, they do. They do. Gabriel said to me the other day, he says, I always know that you're about to say something really inappropriate because I can literally see your eyes start to sparkle. Like if he says something, he said, if I look at you and I can see a sparkle in your eyes, he says, I know you're about to try and make a joke at the worst possible time.
He can sense it.
He can sense it now. He's like, I know. Sometimes he'll even go, don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
Stop before you go.
Yeah. No, I think they do think I'm funny. Gabriel is more, I guess, outward going in many ways. He wants to be an actor. He's actually a really good actor. He's actually with the same agency that I am. He does sales at the moment, but he's really gregarious and is great at talking to people. And he is very funny too. And Isaac is also funny, but kind of I guess a bit more like me, almost in a quiet, kind of more of an assassin sort of comedy, where he stays quiet for a little while, but then bam, will deliver like a really
takes his time,
cut down line. You're like, man, that's really, that's pretty good. He'd be quite starstruck that I'm here with you today because he is so into his cars and stuff.
Really?
He loves his cars and driving and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. Not from me, definitely. But he really wants to be a photographer.
Yeah.
In fact, he's got all the photography gear, so he's done a lot of nighttime shoots with a lot of his mates who have very fancy cars, and they do big drive rounds at night, and he does all the photography and all the video stuff. So he definitely knows who Greg Murphy is. That's for sure.
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's cool. Okay. I'll take that one. What about Isaac? No, was it?
Isaac? Yeah, Isaac. He's the one who loves his cars. Yeah.
Oh, he's the one that loves his cars. Sorry. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
that's
the car
cool.
Guy.
Good on him.
Yeah. He's totally into it.
Good on him.
But yeah, they're both very funny in their own ways. That's for sure. There's a lot of laughter.
So it's rubbed. Well, clearly genes. Then, if Janine's so. Like she is too, that's a pretty good match. Then clearly, and
my folks, like my mum is still alive. My mum Marge, she's 90, and she is very, very funny. And my dad was funny too, but my dad was sort of funnier in the traditional kind of like to tell a joke sense. Like he loved jokes and he loved, as I said, the Goons and Peter Sellers and stuff like that. And so he would like to tell jokes, but he would always get them slightly wrong, and then we would all
which is even
we
funnier.
would all mock him relentlessly. He had this thing where he was always, I think he thought of himself as being much funnier than my mum. Like he was the funny one, and she was just the wife, because that was kind of the generation that he came from. But he would like start to tell a joke, and he was like, "Oh, Marge, shall I tell them the joke about the guy who goes into the pub and sees the camel?" Like he'd pretty much give away the joke before he started telling the joke. And she's like, yeah, by all means tell the joke. And he's like, and then he start the joke and he goes, okay, there's this guy goes into the pub with a camel. And then, was it a camel? And she goes, well, you're telling the joke. He says, I think it was a dog. It was a dog, wasn't it? It was a dog. It was a guy goes into a pub with a dog, and he goes up to the bartender and he says to the bartender, are there dogs allowed in this pub? And then the bartender, oh God, what did he say? The bartender, what did he say? Is this the one where the bartender says, no, there aren't dogs, but you've got a camel? She's like, well, you're telling the joke. He's like, oh, just forget about it then. And that would be how his jokes went every single time. And he'd get so frustrated that he fucked it up, but would somehow managed to blame my mum.
Every time.
Yeah. And now that my
all she was doing was giving permission.
That's right, yeah. And now that my dad is, he's no longer with us, my dad, but now that my mum is here by herself, and we've, had her around for quite a few years as well, without my dad on the scene, I'm like, oh my God, she was actually always the funny one. She's really, really funny. She had, she's fine, but she had a fall a couple of weeks ago and fell over in a unit at the retirement village and hit her head.
Oh, shit.
And she's all right. She's a bit sore. She's okay because she's a fairly tall lady. She's pretty strong. But one of the first things she said when she went into hospital was, my son and I got in there to see her. We raced in there to make sure she was okay. They took her in Waitakere and looked after her wonderfully. Staff there are incredible, but they got her into a bed for the first time. We arrived and went, oh my God, Mum, you're okay. She's like, I'm all right. She said, I think my brain might have fallen out when I fell over, but I said to them, it might be in there, but if they can't find it, maybe it went under the fridge, but I'm fine. She's just really, she's just got this wacky sense of humour. Yeah, she's wonderful. She's wonderful. So,
well, you knew she was fine. You knew she was fine then, straight away.
Yeah. She was cracking jokes. Yeah,
that's good. That is fantastic.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Well, you've had an incredible career making Kiwis laugh. Is there anything left on the bucket list, a dream gig or a goal to still kick off?
I don't have a dream gig bucket list even.
What's the best place? What's the best place you've done a gig? What's the biggest? What's the most your favouriteest venue somewhere?
I think doing the 7 days live tour every year is great because they're big shows. They're like usually between 1,000 and 2,000 people. We play a different town every night, and just the crack when you get out on stage, and you're there with six other of your mates who also happen to be the best comedians in the country, and it's just. That to me, that's sort of the pinnacle for me. So to keep on doing that for a few more years with Di and Jeremy and Ben and all those guys, Justine is great to just do that every year. But just to keep on doing stand-up, I just love doing, even if it's like to 30 or 40 people, keep doing stand-up, trying to come up with new premises that make me laugh and then hopefully will also make the audience laugh. I thought that for me is kind of the challenge going forward, is to just keep trying to generate new material that I find funny and then hopefully someone else will find funny, because I still enjoy that buzz of going onto the stage. It's still great. A part of me still can't believe that people have paid money to come and see me. I'm like, oh my God, people have seen my name on the poster in my face and
they've actually then parted with cash.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And walked in the door.
Yeah. It's great to just keep doing that, keep doing stand-up for as long as I'm enjoying it, which I still am. And then when I stop doing it, if I don't have to do it for financial reasons anymore, hopefully I won't, I think I'll just stop. I don't like the idea of doing like Paul Ego's farewell gig, the last gig. I think I'll just stop one day and just won't bother booking anymore.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. I think that's a good way to do it. Do you appreciate, do you understand, I think you probably do, how important it is though that people like you do what you do, the medicine that it provides. Does that ever come into it? Have you discussed that with you and the team and the crew from 7 days, whatever?
I never
understand the importance of it, because in this doom, so much doom and gloom crap
I do now
these days.
A lot more, I think, than I used to. I don't think I ever used to think of, what I'm doing is
therapeutic and
I think I used to just do it for selfish reasons of I love doing it and it made me laugh and I can earn an income doing this. I don't think it ever occurred to me really that this is really important for people's wellness and that sort of thing. But it certainly has more and more over the years, and you certainly get more people now coming up to you going, not only, we love 7 days, or we love the Stickman ads, but actually thanking you, going, thank you for what you do. Yeah. Because it's really, really important, and it got me through this tough time, and it's really moving when people come up and say that, because, I don't know, you still, with comedy and particularly with stand-up, I don't necessarily belittle it, but it's just such a silly thing that we do, just coming up with silly premises of ideas, and it just seems so, I don't know, so unimportant, but clearly it's not,
But the thing that triggers in people's brains, right, to find that funny, because obviously for everyone that does, there's another one or whatever that will just go, well, that's not funny.
Yes.
Right.
Well, it's a very personal thing. That's
It
the
is,
thing.
eh?
It's why I get quite frustrated when people come up and go, oh, so-and-so, who, particularly if they're a friend of mine, they go, so-and-so, oh, we love you, but so-and-so's, oh, they're not funny. I'm going, well, you can't say that. You can't say that. You can say, I don't find them funny.
Yeah.
Or they're not funny
Because
to
they
me.
are funny.
They are funny.
Yeah.
That's why they're getting paid.
And that's why they're
all
still
this
here
money.
after
That's
25
right.
years. Yeah.
They've been doing it for 30 years. So clearly they are funny.
Just
you
not
just
to
don't
you.
find them funny.
So fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
It's
No,
an
it's-
amazing thing.
Yeah, it really is. No, I've been really blessed. Comedy's been an incredible thing. The fact that I came upon it by accident, really, or being dared into doing it, is like, oh my God.
That's ridiculous.
What if I'd never listened to my sister-in-law and kind of
Does she claim it all? Does she?
No, she's never done that.
She doesn't want
It's
to.
just one of those things.
She doesn't want to be
said
credited
and-
at some
No,
stage. For
no,
I'm
I
the
don't
reason
think
he's
so,
here.
You know?
Yeah.
Who knows? I may have found it anyway, but yeah, if she hadn't dared me into doing it, and if I hadn't tried it and gone, oh my God, I love this. It feels so natural. Feels like what I always should have been doing.
Yeah.
Because I think when I sang with the band, I was usually do like make funny comments between songs and stuff.
Yep.
And I almost enjoyed that as much as.
Yep.
But it didn't occur to me. No alarm bells went off at that time.
Well, you were
should do
playing
more
music,
comedy
weren't
than
you?
music, yeah, man. I was stuck in the groove, man.
Yeah, man. With a mullet.
That's it.
Wow, that is hard to imagine.
It is,
Again,
really is.
people,
Look
get
it
on
up.
your computers
Get on
and
computers.
Google all ego with
frosted
hair.
mullet, and I guarantee you'll come up with an icy fish.
You probably will too.
Why is there an iced fish on my computer?
No, the person. Yeah. Mate, that is mega. Righto, Mr. Ego. We've covered comedy, family, music, radio, even your good old days with a mullet. But now it's time to shift gears. Driving's one of those everyday things we all do without thinking too much about it, but it's actually one of the riskiest things we do day to day. That's where AutoSense comes in. They're all about helping people drive smarter and, of course, safer. So before we wrap up, I've got a few quick-fire questions for you, all about habits, safety and life behind the wheel. Are you ready to jump into the driver's seat, Paul Ego?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Right. Enthusiasm. You've done your share of early mornings on breakfast radio, right? How do you keep yourself sharp on the road when you're waking up in the mornings at 3 a.m. and getting on the roads with such little sleep? Did you have a specific routine at that, or did you go on autopilot when you were getting to the studio?
Definitely when you're driving at that time of the day, because there's not very much traffic on the roads, you're kind of a little bit autopiloting anyway. But certainly both windows down, cold wind in the face, and radio on loud for sure was the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely cold wind in your face, aircon on. Sometimes even now, if you're feeling a little bit drowsy, definitely aircon on, cold wind in the face, and even if you have to, sometimes I'll just go, oh my God, I'm only 10 minutes away, but I'm just feeling so sluggish. Quickly pull over, put the timer on the watch, the old vibrate timer, 5 minutes, seat back, 5-minute nap, bam, and it just gives you, I reckon, another.
So you did that? You did that?
Oh yeah, I do the power naps quite a bit if I can.
Yeah, right.
Find a safe place to pull over, even if I'm because it's that thing of you always know that it's when you're that close to your destination, that's when stuff's going to happen.
Oh, it does.
Because you're tired, you're
Statistically, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You go, I'm nearly there. And you start to shut down because your brain's just said, it's all good.
And I would do that. I didn't used to do it, I don't think, on the way to early morning radio, but after the show coming home, when you're in that kind of that slump period. Because it's a performance, you're
rush,
up in your
adrenaline,
elevator, there's the rush of doing the show. So after the show, you're like, whew. So you were tired from that anyway. You were tired from waking up early, and particularly if you're coming home and it's like summer and it was warm and the sun coming through the car, you're like, that's a real drowsiness time. So I would definitely try and just pull over and just 10 minutes, quick nap, and then get home safely.
Does work. It actually does work. Yeah. Good advice there too. What's your biggest distraction behind the wheel? Probably when you're doing 7 days tours with all the other comedians.
Totally. Yeah, if it was in the 7 days van, it would generally be somebody like Josh Thompson.
Yeah.
No, it'd be Josh Thompson screaming out loud because we forgot to get all of his baked goods at the last cafe. And then Di would generally drive off the road because Josh was hollering like he was being murdered, and it just turned out that he'd just forgotten his Anzac slice.
Yeah.
That would be the distraction in the 7 days van. For me, it would probably be, it's a bit naughty, but it would probably be either trying to open a food item.
Oh.
Or change a song on the
touchpad or the screen
panel.
or whatever. Yeah.
Touch panel, thankfully, you've got, hands free and you can request certain songs in there.
Yeah.
Now, but normally for me
car.
it would be trying to open a tricky pie or something like that.
Yeah. And then you spill hot mints down the front.
Oh my God! I tell you, the worst I've ever, even worse than hot mints, is a lit cigarette down an open end of your shorts. So when I used to smoke years ago, I only smoked for a few years in my late teens. This is weird. This is also, I think I was driving another work ute. Bad things have happened in work utes, but it didn't have very much leg room in this particular ute that we had. And I had a lit cigarette. It was summer. I had short, baggy, sort of stubby kind of shorts on. But because there wasn't much leg room in the driver's seats, my I'm quite close to the steering wheel, but my legs were kind of up at a 45-ish degree angle because I didn't have much leg room. So I go to flick the lit cigarette out the window while I'm waiting to turn on the motorway. The whole lit end of it bounces off the window and goes straight down the leg of my shorts and just completely burnt the side of my scrotum. And I bunny hopped sort of across the intersection as I was pumping my leg up and down trying to get this thing out of my shorts. So
everyone like I am right now is visualising this.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I've probably still got the scar on the right side of my scrotum. I'll have to have a look at it later.
You will. Just
it probably looks like a cool birthmark.
Ask Janine to have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll look like Jesus on a piece of toast and I'll get famous.
Put it on Trade Me. Picture of it. Holy shit.
Could do, yeah.
See, that's an answer.
So don't smoke and drive or eat and drive.
Just
Hot mints would be just as bad.
Just don't smoke.
Don't smoke. It's bad for you.
It is bad for you.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good. That's another thing people will be searching on Google.
That's right.
Yeah.
Paul Ego mullet and burnt right side of scrotum.
Well, the next question was, have you ever had a close call or a moment on the road that really stuck with you? That was probably it.
Yeah. Well, I had one even
well,
this
you did.
week.
We talked about one.
Yes,
we talked about the one in the
I drove
car.
into the ditch with
That's
the boss's
right.
car.
Yeah, you're trying to impress you.
But even this week,
wife.
I don't know if it's spatial awareness with men or anything. I was just driving down the road and a bus was coming the other way, which meant, that side of the road was kind of completely taken up. So it was like a narrowish corridor. I wasn't speeding, but I was just going 50. But as I got past the bus, a guy got out of his parked car and opened his car door. And I slammed on the brakes and just managed to stop before him. I put it down to he should have looked in his side mirror and went, are there any cars coming? Because suddenly there was a car door over half my lane and I stopped in time, but Jesus, my heart went into my throat.
And then it's looking in the mirror to see if there's someone who hasn't seen you.
Yeah, exactly.
Waiting for the impact from behind.
Because people in New Zealand love to follow right behind you.
Yeah.
Like you're connected via an umbilical cord.
That's right. If it breaks, life's over. That's
unbelievable.
Right. Yeah.
Following distances on the motorway sometimes, I'm just like, what
is up, man?
I don't know. I often see
Do you think
people,
if you follow less than a foot behind the car in front, you are going to get to your destination quicker? Like it just does. It's.
I talked to someone about this recently, and they said that the reason that they do it from time to time is they feel like they sort of said it jokingly, but they're like, we're hurrying the person along a little bit. We're like, come on, get a move on.
But if they notice there's a car in front of that person?
My God. I know, Jesus. Yeah. Sometimes you see them and go, that car's being towed. It's obviously connected to a tow bar. Because it looks so close. And you go, no, that's another car driving behind it. I'm like, you idiot.
That close to being at any given moment for multiple reasons in a crash. Man. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Imagine if the car in front of them dropped a lit cigarette down their leg.
Shorts, down their stubbies.
They were driving, and it set fire to the mince that was already there and cooked that onto the scrotum. Suddenly you've got the world's worst spaghetti bolognese. Why is the spaghetti so flavoursome? I cooked it on my scrotum while I was driving.
It's not spaghetti, it's my pubes.
That's right. What are the curly bits? I can't tell you.
Jesus, how did we get to that? As someone who's made a living out of making people laugh, just like that, do you think Kiwi drivers take themselves too seriously on the road?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to take it too lightly. It's a big responsibility being in a big hunk of metal, right? But,
road rage everywhere.
That's it, eh? God, it's just the impatience. Even now and then I find myself sounding a bit like my dad, who was a lovely man but was not the most patient person.
Copy.
I certainly get frustrated. I don't think I'd ever get angry enough to want to physically hurt someone on the road. But yeah, just the frustration of people. I don't know if this is going to be a question, but the thing that gets me more than anything, well, not more than anything, but one of the main things is just people not being ready to go when you let them in. Like just not being aware or not paying attention to what's doing. Somebody's waiting to pull out into a street, and because they're waiting, because the traffic's busy, they're like, oh, I've got time to go on my phone. So they'll be looking at your phone, and you see people waiting, and you go, I'm a great human. I'm going to flash this person and let them in. So you're far enough away that there's a big gap.
And they don't go.
If they had a brain, they would go, well, I'm going to go because there's a big gap. But they sit there, and you flash them, and you're getting closer, and then you beat them, and you're getting closer, and then they don't go. And then you're the bad guy because you're going, oh, you muppet.
That's right.
It's so frustrating. I got so angry once at a person waiting to pull out of a driveway. They were on a drive waiting to pull out into a main road. And there was a bit of a gap. I eased off a little bit so they could go. I flashed them. They didn't go. They sat there. I flashed them. They didn't go. I beeped. They still didn't go. And then I was like, stuff you then. And then I got level.
And just as you got there, they pulled out.
No, it was a parked car. I was getting so angry at this person who's just parked their car on this driveway.
Here.
There I am flashing them going, go you idiot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
I think we are pretty impatient. Hopefully I'm not getting to that point.
We don't know how to merge.
Oh, the merging thing.
Motorways in Auckland, the motors. There's
yeah.
that many, and okay, the stupid lights that go right. Two of you can go. Red, stop, wait,
geez.
and then you drive. You cut. You go because it goes green. And here's someone who has. The merge lane is like 300 metres long, but they've pulled up in the first 50 metres and stopped.
I know.
And indicate, waiting for someone, rather than just keep driving and just merge like a zip.
That's what I like. Oh, this
Merge
is such
like
a
a
good
zip.
And you get further. Just go to the end of the
Just
lane.
go.
That's where it joins.
Yeah.
But you're right. These people who go in at a right angle, go, no, I'm going to
just
pull
like
in
they
now.
indicate and turn to drive in
Oh, my God.
on a like a 70-degree angle into the traffic rather than.
It's so
Anyway.
frustrating. And why do we even bother having two lanes at that merging lane when the sign says one vehicle at a time? Who decides? You should. Everybody
Very
leaning out
good
doing
point.
rock, paper, scissors out the window.
Yeah, you go.
It doesn't decide.
No, you go.
Just floor it, eh?
Brilliant.
Don't just floor it.
No, well. Yeah, no, I can't say
just
that.
Just drive assertive. You don't have to drive aggressively, but I'm a fan of driving decisively.
Oh, good word.
You see an opportunity, and I guess you learn that a little bit when you drive, if you're driving in London and that sort of thing. You can't just wait for somebody to let you in. You've got to make some sort of motion that, can I please come in? Whether it's just coming out slightly or getting there, sort of eye contact and going, I'm coming, and people will ease off and let you in. If you sit there forever, nobody's going to let you in.
No, because they just go, well, you're an idiot.
Yeah. And if you're a parked car, nobody will let you in.
It's a great world. It's great. Mate, brilliant. Thank you for your time.
You too.
It's been a privilege having you in the driver's seat today.
Oh,
I hope
it's been fun.
Good. Good. It's been a good chat. It's been good catch up. This is the thing that has been great about these is some people I have sort of met in the past, haven't seen for a little while.
Yeah.
10 years probably since you came and tried to rescue my event by being the MC.
That's right, yeah. I still don't remember
I hope you got
all
paid.
that much.
You paid? I hope you got paid.
I wouldn't have done it if it was for free.
It
That's
wasn't.
for sure.
Yeah.
Good.
Paul Ego, thank you so much. It's been a privilege having you in the driver's seat today. Big thanks, of course, to our sponsor, AutoSense, helping drivers to get home from work safer every day. Now, if you're in the transport industry or running a fleet, check AutoSense out at autosense.co.nz. Did you enjoy the ride? Well, if you did, hit follow and share it with someone. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.